Alright,
Uh,
okay.
Kejap
Assalamualaikum
terus.
sekali. Okay. Alright, so untuk hari ni, Azrul tidur je?
Kazrul.
Right, okay. Untuk hari ni punya kelas, kita akan continue untuk lighting. Alright, minggu lepas kan saya dah ajar camera movement dan juga camera shot. So you guys kena belajar sedikit tentang lighting untuk menghasilkan a good video lah, okay? Sebab video ni dia berkaitan dengan lampu, fotografi lampu, video pun lampu. So jadi tak ada lampu, you guys tak belajar pasal lampu, you guys memang kira teruk lah, okay? Kita punya video tu akan jadi, okay? So sebelum tu, saya bagi you guys tengok video dulu, so at least you guys tahu apa yang akan go through nanti. Okay, you tengok video ni dulu
In this lesson of Frame Forest Film School, we're going to show you how to use 3 simple lights to do a 3-point lighting setup. So if you want to light a headshot or maybe an interview, this is going to show you some of the basic lighting principles to make your shots look better. In 3-point lighting, there are 3 lights: a key light, a fill light, and a backlight. In this video, we will also show you some tips on adding more life to the background. Well, let's get started. Here we have our talent in front of a black background in the studio. We are going to start off by turning off our lights in the ceiling. Then we're going to turn on our first light, the key light. The key light is a 650 watt tungsten lamp with a diffusion gel to make the light softer. The key light is the strongest light in the setup and is our main light source. The key light is placed at the side of the camera in a 20 to 45 degree angle. The second light is our fill light. The fill light fills in darkness and shadows on the opposite side of the key light and gives much more even lighting. The fill light is normally only up to 50% as powerful as the key light. You can achieve this by using a less powerful light, move the light further away from the subject, or adding more diffusion gels to it. Here we turn our fill light on and off to demonstrate the effect. The last light in the 3-point lighting setup is the backlight. The backlight is placed behind the talent and creates a kind of halo effect around the edges of the subject. The backlight is separating our talent from the background and is highlighting the contours. Here we turn our backlight on and off to demonstrate the effect. So this is the 3 basic steps in creating 3-point lighting. But in addition to the 3 lights to light your subject, you can also light up the background to it to make the picture even better. So what we're going to do here is add a bright 2 kilowatt tungsten lamp with a colored gel on it to make a splash of color on our black background. So here you can see now we added a little bit of blue color behind her. By using the barn doors on the lamp, we can kind of shape it into a shaft of light, which is a cool effect. Changing the color and shape of the background light, you can create different moods for your scenes. And here we turn our background light on and off to show the improvement to the shot. Let's take a look at some before and after shots. So this was our talent with just the natural room light from the ceiling. And this is after. As you see, 3-point lighting creates much more depth in your shots and creates different moods. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching. Also check out our other film school videos, as well as our free stock footage collection and blog here at frameforest.com. Okay, so that's it. Stay tuned for more. Goodbye.
Alright, okay. So itu adalah sedikit intro lah berkaitan dengan kita punya lighting. Okay, so apa yang kita akan go through hari ni adalah kita akan belajar a basic lighting setup. Ini bukan basic lah sebenarnya, ini tapi standard lah. A basic lighting setup iaitu 3-point lighting system. Daripada 3 point tu baru akan pergi 4 point, 5 point, 6 point, 7 point, ikut pada keperluan yang awak perlu buat lah. So, jadi kalau macam tadi dia tunjukkan karakter dia hanya shoot untuk seorang saja. So dia menggunakan 3 point lighting system. You guys pun akan shoot you guys sendiri pun you guys kena pakai 3 point lighting system. Baru nampak dia punya perbezaan. Kalau you guys tengok pada video webcam you sendiri sekarang ni, cuba tengok pada video masing-masing. Bila you guys tengok video masing-masing, kita pakai natural light tau. Maksudnya light yang memang ada environment ni. Gambar kita akan jadi macam flat, kosong je. Tapi bagi kita, cantik lah sebenarnya. Tak. Sebenarnya ini kita panggil sebagai flat, kosong. Awak pre-issue macam saya ni sebenarnya melekat dekat belakang, background belakang. Awak sendiri pun awak melekat dengan dinding kat belakang. Tapi bila kita ada those lighting, kita akan dapat, boleh kita katakan sebagai cinematic punya effects. Itu sebab yang membezakan professional videographer, professional photographer, beza dia adalah orang macam mana orang tu set up lampu. Baru kita akan tahu. Alright, okay. Okay, kita straight to kita punya slide. Sekejap Okay, kita straight to kita punya slide. Okay. So, dalam kita punya lighting setup dalam lighting setup kita ada beberapa jenis lampu yang awak kena tahu dahulu. Okay. These are some of the light that you guys should know. Okay. Okay. Yang the first one, kita ada hard dan juga soft punya light. Okay. Hard dan juga soft punya light ni adalah di mana kita ada satu lampu yang kuat ataupun dikata terang, dan satu adalah dikata soft. Lampu yang terang macam for example bila kita tembak daripada depan direct, kita akan nampak kita punya shadow tu sharp. Okay. Kalau lampu yang soft, bila kita tembak pada diri kita, kita akan nampak shadow tu dia macam soft. Macam dia ada shadow tapi dia nampak macam sama-sama je shadow dia. Okay. Dia bukan sharp. Okay. Setiap satu lampu hard dengan soft ni dia ada functionality dia. Okay. Bila kita nak guna dan bila kita nak pakai. Selalunya apabila kita nak buat dramatic effects, kita akan banyak pakai menggunakan hard light. Tapi kalau kita nak buat macam relaxing punya effects, okay, calm, relax, okay, kita akan pakai soft punya light. Okay. Ini example macam saya bagi tahu hard light. Okay. Lampu yang daripada sebelah kanan dia ni, daripada sebelah kanan gambar tu, okay, dia tembak direct kepada dia punya karakter dan kita boleh nampak shadow exactly macam mana dia punya shape muka dengan badan dia lah. Okay, ini kita panggil hard light. Okay. Dan manakala yang ni pun juga sebagai hard light. Okay. Macam inilah kita. Ini macam dramatic effects. Ini adalah dramatic effects. Kalau you guys nak do some serious dramatic, okay, kita kena cari lampu yang menggunakan hard light system. Okay. Manakala soft light adalah macam ni. Ini kita panggil sebagai soft light. Lampu yang terang juga tapi dia soft. Dia tak akan ada nampak shadow. Kurang shadow dia. Kalau tengok seperti lelaki ni dia berdiri di atas kursi. Lampu dia direct pada dia sebenarnya. Tapi kalau tengok dekat shadow kaki dia tu, shadow kaki dia tak sharp. Dia macam ada blur. Okay, itu kita panggil soft shadow. Okay. Selalunya bila kita pakai this kind punya feel, ini macam bila kita tengok gambar dia, kita akan rasa calm, tenang, relax, tak stress. Kalau you guys nak create satu feeling pada you guys punya filem ataupun gambar, you nak orang tengok soft, cantik dan sebagainya, kita kena pakai soft light. Kalau you guys nak orang emphasize, tengok tepat direct, you guys kena pakai hard punya light. Okay, ini example dia. You guys okay?
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, lepas tu dalam kita punya lampu juga, okay, kita ada kita punya temperature ataupun kita punya color secara logik lah. Okay, kita tahu sebenarnya lampu tu panas. Okay, kalau kita buka lampu lama-lama, cuba awak tengok lampu mata awak tu tala kat lampu, okay, memang awak akan sedia akan rasa panas tapi sebenarnya awak sejuk okay, awak akan rasa panas. Okay, so dia ada hot dengan cool punya light. Okay, dan temperature dia. Okay, temperature dia adalah based on pada kita punya keadaan. Okay, jikalau kita menggunakan lampu outdoor ataupun lampu daylight. Lampu daylight tu adalah lampu yang berwarna kuning. Dalam kita punya kamera ataupun kita punya telefon, kita boleh setkan white balance dia. Kejap lagi saya akan tunjuk awak. kita boleh sidekan white balance kita kepada warna biru ataupun warna kuning. Okey, jikalau warna kuning itu kita panggil outdoor. Dia akan menghasilkan satu uh, apa, tone yang agak panas lah. Okey. Manakala kalau kita tengok artificial adalah lampu yang dekat dalam indoor, lampu yang memang dibuat oleh manusia, lampu pedang floor dan sebagainya. Itu lampu tu akan menghasilkan warna biru-biru sikit lah. Okey. Macam ni. Okey. Ini sampel kita panggil sebagai hot. Okey. Lampu panas. Alright. Dia sebenarnya tak ada api pun, tapi disebabkan dia bermain dengan lampu, kita akan nampak situasi dia sebenarnya adalah panas. Sama seperti ni. Kita akan nampak situasi dia macam panas. Ini kita akan nampak macam sejuk sebab dia punya color, dia pakai color dia pakai warna biru, almost macam warna-warna biru. Okey, ini pun. Kenapa dia menggunakan warna biru untuk yang dalam filem ni? Filem ni adalah filem real still Okey, kenapa dia menggunakan warna biru? Siapa tahu? Dia tak menggunakan warna kuning macam filem yang ni. Kenapa filem ni dia gunakan color dia warna biru? Lampu dia warna biru. Siapa tahu?
Kontras.
Sebab dia tempat gelap kan.
Tempat gelap. Okey, selain daripada tu?
Mood
Dia
nak ambil mood.
kontras sebab dia cerawan kan.
Okey.
Metal, so bagi efek macam blue.
Yes, betul. Bila kita ada metal tu dia memang automatically kita punya mindset metal tu adalah something yang blue color. Okay, kalau you guys nak tahu lebih detail setiap satu color tu masuk dia apa, you guys kena pergi tengok dekat color punya preferences, dia akan bagi tahu orange adalah untuk apa, indicate dah siapa, ungu indicate apa, biru indicate siapa. That's why kalau macam ni metal ni diorang banyak pakai warna biru. Dia tak pakai warna kuning, dia tak pakai warna orange, dia tak pakai warna purple sebab dia tahu kalau orange dan juga kuning dia more likely on kepada wood. Kalau biru more on kepada besi, something yang keras dan sebagainya. You guys kena tengok lah. That's why filem ni berjaya. Dia buat filem ni. Ini tak silap saya, filem ni dia punya co-director dia. Co-director dia adalah Steven Spielberg. Yang filem cerita ni, Realistic ni, dia bukan director tau, dia punya co-director, dia punya secondary director dia Steven Spielberg. You guys boleh tengok. Steven Spielberg tu yang buat Jurassic Park tu kan? Betul lah. Steven Spielberg tu yang buat Jurassic Park tu, you guys boleh tengok. Alright, okay. One of the, saya punya favorite story lah. Okay. Next. Ini adalah kita punya one of the filem yang bagus juga lah, The Sorcerer's Apprentice lah. Okay. So dia menggunakan this kind of punya light blue dengan green blue lah, greenish dan juga light blue. Alright, okay. Alright, lepas tu kita ada interior dan juga exterior lighting. Interior lighting dan juga exterior lighting. Kalau tengok tu yang untuk exterior lighting, as you shot an exterior outdoor, maksudnya kita pergi keluar you may want that the spectacular intensity of the sun at high noon, or the scene call for the moody warning light immediately after sunset. Okay, so macam for example bila kita shoot kat luar, kita nak something yang more feeling kepada orang luar. Kita nak ada sunset, kita nak yang pagi-pagi betul. Kita nak something yang memang nampak a real color, natural color. Kalau boleh ada matahari dan sebagainya. Kalau macam for example bila kita buat interior pula, bila kita buat kat dalam, kita ada lampu-lampu yang pedal floor. Okay, lampu kuning. Okay, masalahnya kat dalam ni bila kita shoot dalam, ada setengah-setengah rumah dia mempunyai different type of color dekat dia punya lampu. Okay, macam for example maybe kat rumah awak lah, dekat kitchen lampu lain warna putih. Pergi naik kat bilik tidur lampu awak warna kuning. Bila jadi macam tu, itu yang problemnya. Bila kita nak buat filem, katalah for example ada karakter tu bergerak daripada dapur naik ke atas. Okay, so dia perubahan color tu orang akan nampak beza. Tadi color dia warna kuning asal tiba-tiba jadi warna biru. Okay, itu yang you guys kena tahulah, kena take note bila kita buat shooting nanti later on. Okay, So ini adalah 3-point lighting system yang mana awak kena tahu. Ini adalah standard worldwide pakai, bukan baru direka semalam, dah lama dah. Dah beribu-ribu tahun pakai benda yang sama. Okay. In which ini adalah dia punya setup dia. Okay. Yang first kali dia bagi tahu tadi, dia kena ada key light. Okay. Key light ni adalah lampu utama dalam kita punya setup ni. Okay. Yang di mana dia boleh letak kat sebelah kiri ataupun kita letak kat sebelah kanan kita punya karakter. Macam tadi dalam video tadi letak sebelah kanan, yang gambar rajah ni dia letak kat sebelah kiri. Okay. Selepas kita dah letak kita punya key light dekat sebelah, automatically sebelah lagi badan karakter tu dia akan jadi gelap, betul? So itulah datangnya dia punya fill light. Okay. Fill light ni lah akan diletakkan di sebelah opposite of kita punya key light. Okay. Dan cara untuk set up fill light ni dia senang. Dia mesti separuh power dia, fill light ni dia mesti separuh daripada yang key light. Okay. So maksudnya you guys boleh adjust lah dia punya power. Kalau tak boleh adjust power dia, lampu tu fix, you guys boleh jauhkan daripada karakter ataupun you guys bounce dekat mana-mana dinding ataupun kertas warna putih, letak diffuser lah. Okay. Dan yang last kali kita ada backlight. Okay. Ataupun kita panggil sebagai hairlight. Okay, hairlight yang di mana hairlight ni akan create depth pada kita punya karakter, bezakan antara karakter kita dengan background belakang. So, kalau tengok inilah setup daripada depan lah. Sebelah kiri dia ada key light, dia bagi tahu angle dia berapa. Sebelah kanan dia ada fill light, dia bagi tahu percentage dia berapa, 50% to 70% daripada kita punya key light. Dan posisi kamera dia macam mana. Lepas tu baru kita letak backlight. Okay, so ini adalah setup standard satu dunia pakai both fotografi and both juga dalam kita punya videografi. So you guys kena letak this kind of punya setup dekat dalam you guys punya short film. Barulah you guys akan tahu macam mana nak hasilkan a very good short film. Sorry, nak hasilkan very good you guys punya advertisement. Macam dalam advertisement dia sangat-sangat crucial sebab dia tengok one by one frame. Itu problem dia. Okay. Buy tak masuk lagi Okay. Ini sedikit explanation kalau kita tengok sini. Okay, key light is the primary light of the scenes. It will be the most intense and direct light source of the entire scene. It will be the first light to set up and will be used eliminate the form of subject or actor. Okay, dia punya key point dia, kalau kita avoid lah kita punya place tu dekat dengan kamera sebab nanti dia akan reflection. Kalau key light tu position the back side of actor, kita tengok macam dramatic lah. Okay. So kalau backlight pula, backlight is backlight hit an actor or object from behind and usually placed higher than the object it is lighting. Okay, a backlight is often used to separate an object and actor from the dark background to give subject more shape and depth. Okay, so ni dia bagi tahulah itu function kita punya backlight, dia letak kat belakang dan selalunya dia akan tala daripada atas. Okay, supaya kita boleh bezakan antara background kita dan juga kita punya subjek. Lepas tu kita ada kita punya fill light. Okay, fill light ini adalah mana digunakan untuk kita menambahkan pada kawasan-kawasan yang kita nampak gelap. Okay, supaya kita tak adalah dia bermain sebelah lampu saja. Yang di mana untuk kita punya fill light ni selalunya dia tekan fill sebanyak 50% je daripada total daripada kita punya key lighting. Alright, okay. Okay, sebelum tu saya bagi awak tengok satu lagi video.
The only difference
Okay. Bukan. Okay, sorry. Okay, tengok ini dulu.
between this shot right here and this shot is the lighting. So today I'm going to show you how to set up your key light your fill light, and your backlight to get amazing video quality. We're gonna be using a simple, low-budget, 3-point lighting kit, so let's get into it.
Okay, you guys boleh tengok ini Ini adalah bagi you budget, so you guys tahu.
Lighting is the most important aspect of getting really good video quality, and they use 3-point lighting in movies, TV shows, music videos. So today I'm going to show you how to set up each light and what it does. So let's go ahead and start with the key light. So this is the key light, and the key light really is the main light source. And so if you were to use one light, you would use a key light. And so we're using the Neewer NL660, and all this gear is going to be linked down below in the description. So the key light is on the right side of Heather's face, and this is the main light. And really it doesn't matter if it's on the left side or the right side. The fill light is going to be on the opposite side of the key light. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like with just the key light on. So the backlight and the fill light are off, and this is just the key light lighting Heather's right side of her face. So this is our fill light, and we're using another Neewer light. And if I turn this off, you can see that the shadows are pretty dark on Heather's face. And so when I turn this light back on, it adds a nice fill into her left side. And this just makes the shadows not as dark. And I also wanted to share with you that it's okay to have shadows on your subject. A lot of people think for YouTube videos or interviews, they just want to flood as much light as they can. But shadows are actually great because that's what shapes your subject. A little power tip about your fill light is that it needs to obviously be not as bright as your key. And so if you have a light that doesn't dim, maybe it is a softbox with a bulb, what you can do is just take your light and move it back. And so that's going to dim your light if you can move your light source farther away from the subject. So we've covered the key light, and we just covered the fill light, and this is the backlight. It's the third light in this setup. So the main purpose of this backlight is to create separation between the subject and the background. So a lot of YouTubers or people who are getting into video, they don't think to add this light, and what happens is that the subject can often just fall and mix into the background, and this helps really add a pop to your subject. So if we turn this light on and off, you can see that it really adds a lot to the shot. It makes her pop and it makes her stand out from the background, which is exactly what this light is used for. So I'm gonna share a secret lighting technique that they actually use on movies and TV shows, and this is gonna make you stand out on YouTube. But before I get into that, let me know in the comments below, what lights do you use? And if you're getting value, make sure you leave a like on this video. So the secret hack that they use in movies is actually called motivated lighting. So you can see in the background we have a lamp, and if we were to just turn that off, this light looks really unnatural because we don't really know where this light source is coming from. But we purposely put that lamp in the background to motivate this backlight, so it looks like this light is going onto Heather because of the lamp. And this light is really cool because it's bicolor, so we can change the color temperature to match that lamp. And the cool thing about this light is it's right around $30. And so Sean did a really cool review. If you click the card right here to check that out, I think you guys are gonna love this light. And remember that motivated lighting could be the thing that takes you to the next level in your videos.
Alright. Okay. Itu salah satu cara untuk you guys set up you guys punya lampu lah. So dia beritahu macam mana 3-point lighting system, basic, lampu semua you guys boleh dapat kat DIY. Macam for example, alright, ni saya ada satu. Okay, sepatutnya kalau kat college you guys boleh dapat satu lah. Dia tak susah pun, belakang dia guna bateri ni je. Double A semua. Okay, so you boleh set up dan you guys boleh on lah. So ini dia punya power. Dia kira kalau saya letak ke depan, nampak? Kalau saya macam ni, selalu so you guys set up lah, you guys letak kiri, kanan dan sebagainya lah. So ini lampu yang ada lah. Okay, katalah sir tak ada lampu ni sir, macam mana nak buat? Okay, tak apa, ni risau. You guys pergi kat DIY, you guys ada ni. Ini torchlight ni tau. Tapi power dia sama. Okey, kalau yang ni jangan awak pakai torchlight pula. Kalau pakai torchlight nanti dia akan jadi macam ni. Nampak? Dia akan jadi hard light. Sebab dia tembak direct. So apa you guys boleh buat? You guys cari yang ni. Yang dia ada ni. Sekejap. Yang dia ada ni. Ada, nampak tu? Dia ada yang lampu square ni. Jadi bila kita on, nampak? Dia akan nyala macam tu. Jadi bila saya letak kat depan ni, okey, awak tengok Okey. Awak tengok kat sebelah sini, nampak macam gelap sikit kan? Okay. So, bila saya letak lampu ni dekat depan saya, nampak? Ada? Tak ada. Ada? Tak ada. So, nampak tak efek dia? So, balance dia, kita nampak cara lampu tu menyala. So, ada. Lepas tu, tak ada. Okay. So, kalau macam ni, dia nampak more real sikit. Tapi kalau perasan, bila saya angkat tangan saya, awak akan nampak shadow. Sebab apa? Sebab lampu ni dekat depan. So, you guys kena create something supaya shadow tu akan hilang. Tapi kalau logically saya diri macam ni, okay dah, memang tak akan jadi masalah. Gambar akan jadi cantik. So, lampu ni you guys boleh dapat dekat, ini saya beli dekat DIY. Harga dia tak silap saya RM9 ke RM10. Dia, yang ni built-in Yang ni built-in bateri. Built-in bateri maksudnya you guys kena charge lah. Sebab torchlight kan, rumah saya tak ada torchlight tu, saya beli yang ni. So you guys boleh tengok kat awal untuk hasilkan you guys punya filem. InsyaAllah boleh jadi cantik you guys punya gambar. Alright, okay. Right, okay. Saya bagi you guys tengok satu lagi video. Cinematic. Okay.
Hey, what's up guys? Chris Jr. here for Chris Car Productions. I am here at the YouTube space in New York City for the Next Up program, which is why you see me surrounded by all this crazy gear. But I figured I'd take the opportunity to be a part of this, to use some of this gear, and show you a few things about lighting. We are going to be creating different looks today, all by using 3 lights. A key light, a fill light, and a backlight, not to be confused with a background light, which is used to illuminate what is behind your subject. Now, this last one isn't necessarily part of a 3-point lighting setup, so we're not going to worry about it for right now. Let's start by talking about the usually most important light of this setup, the key light. Now, a key light is your primary source of light. For our example, we place a tungsten balanced LED light on camera right, placed slightly above our talent, aiming down at her. If tungsten doesn't sound familiar to you, for now, all you need to know is that it refers to the color temperature of a light, which is measured in Kelvin, and tungsten is a warm orange yellowish color typically measured at 3200 Kelvin. Now, we'll get into color temperatures in the next video, but for right now, just know that tungsten gives you a warm-ish look. So back to our setup. So now that our key light is on, we are seeing how it's scattering its light on our subject's face and how it's creating some pretty unflattering shadows on her right side of the face and under the chin. Now, our talent is pretty enough to look gorgeous even under this lighting, but trust me, this is no bueno. Now, this is also a good time to contradict myself and say that this can also work. Wait, what? Yeah, man. It all depends on the type of story that you're trying to tell. If your story requires an unflattering, possibly sinister look, this might work. For example, our character in our scene could be hiding something from our protagonist, hence the face being partially lit and partially hidden by harsh shadows. I can't stress enough how important story is when you're lighting your scene. But let's move on and make her look, how some might say, on fleek. To improve the scene, we can add a fill light. As the name suggests, a fill light is used to complement the key light and fill in the shadows cast by it. Usually, a fill light is slightly less intense and dimmed down in order to not completely flatten our subject and to maintain dimensionality to our subject's features. Our case is particular, however, since our subject is a girl. I typically like to light them in a more even manner in order to smooth the face out even more. Now, everything we're talking about is very subjective, and with anything in film, there are no rules, just suggestions and basic guidelines to get started. So my suggestion is to play around with the ratio of light between your key light and your fill light and see what works for your story and your subject. So, more fill will give you a more flat look, while less fill will give you a higher contrast lighting, which can fit well in a dramatic scene. So we're talking about high contrast because, you know, your key light is much stronger than your fill light, and low contrast because if you have a fill light that's just as strong as your key light, it sort of evens out the face. So that's pretty much what I mean by talking about contrast in terms of lighting. One more thing that I want to mention about the fill light is that it can also not be a light at all. It can simply be a bounce board, a reflector, or even a bright surface. Essentially, we can use something to bounce light from the key light back into our subject from the opposite side. This technique can be used for various ways of lighting a scene and can even replace lights on talent altogether. I will probably have a dedicated full video just for this technique, but if you take a look at Roger Deakins' cinematography, you can see that this way of lighting is used over and over by him, especially if you watch the movie Sicario. Okay, so getting sidetracked, let's move on to our final light, which is the backlight. So essentially, as you can see here, a backlight is a light placed in the back behind the subject to provide definition to the outline of our subject, separating her from the background. Now in this example, we see that our backlight is not placed directly behind her, so it's acting more as a hair light since we are seeing a nice highlight in her hair. So just like with our key and fill, where and how you place your backlight can significantly change the look and feel of the shot. Now we are going to go so much more in depth into all of this in the next video, which is where we'll be moving these lights and creating different looks. So definitely check out the info cards to check it out if it's up by the time you're watching this, and the same goes for the rest of the videos that are part of this lighting series. We kind of skimmed over today, but we're going to go really in depth in what kind of story you're trying to tell and how that can affect your lighting. Very, very simple stuff, but again, if you move some things around and if you start playing with this setup, once you have a very good understanding of these basic principles, you can really get different moods, different tones for your shots. And of course, we just sort of skimmed over some very basic setups, but hopefully it gives you an idea of just how much you can change the mood and tone of a scene, and how you can really play with lighting to cater for the type of story that you're trying to tell. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's something different from the usual visual effects and tutorials, but this is a direction that I really want to take this channel towards and just show the full spectrum of filmmaking, not just the post side, and hopefully we can get more into the production side of things and even pre-production so that we can learn everything that is involved in making a film from start to finish. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Chris Trini for Chris Corp Productions, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, itu adalah lampu yang di setup lah. Okay, kalau you guys tengok itu memang standard. Okay, bila diorang buat lampu, dan itu baru standard lampu. Belum lagi kalau macam for example bila kita buat music video ke dan sebagainya. Okay, so itu adalah basic saja, tak ada go on detail. Kalau detail you guys memang kena masuk production betul. Okay, tapi memang itu standard, you guys boleh apply dalam you guys punya short film later on. Okay, alright. Okay, so ada apa-apa soalan berkaitan dengan lampu?
Tak ada.
Alright, semua okey kan? Okey. Yang dah hantar hari tu proposal, saya ada reply balik email balik pada you guys. You guys boleh tengok. Dan juga dalam Google Classroom tu saya dah letak sampel. Ada kan? So you guys tengok, you guys tengok balik sampel tu, you guys follow balik je lah sampel tu macam mana. Alright, okay. Nanti you guys go up macam tu. Alright, okay. So kalau tak ada apa-apa soalan, saya rasa itu saja untuk kelas kita pagi ni. Yang penting sekarang ni you guys pergi balik dekat YouTube, you guys tengok macam mana orang setup. Tapi kebanyakannya memang dia akan pakai setup yang sama. Okay.
Laju pakai kamera.
Okay, 3-point lighting system, dia akan pakai lampu yang sama. Okay, cuma macam mana you guys nak set up tu saja yang akan berbeza. Alright, okay. So you guys habis kelas, tengok YouTube macam mana you guys nak buat dan sebagainya. Lepas tu you guys cuba apply. Hari Khamis ni, hari Khamis ni insya-Allah kita akan cuba belajar sedikit software. Saya akan cari satu software untuk you guys edit video. Okay. Saya rasa ada 2-3 software yang you guys dah boleh try to tengok. KineMaster, Adobe Brush, KineMaster dengan Adobe Brush. Cuba try dua ni dulu. Okay, cuba you guys try edit pakai dua video ni dulu sebelum kita go on untuk hari Jumaat ni nanti. Alright, okay. So, kalau tak ada apa, saya rasa itu saja untuk kelas kita pada hari ni. Hopefully you guys learn something regarding kita punya lampu ni. Alright, okay. Kalau tak ada apa saja, thank you guys. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Kocak.
Baca Azrul.
Azrul? Relax Azrul lah.
Saya dah betulkan. Saya dah final. Tak tahulah, bagi saya dah finalize lah. Tapi tak colour lagi. Nanti saya send kat saya.
Alright.
Storyboard kan?
Woohoo!
So storyboard digital tak apa kan?
Boleh.
Muiz ni mana Muiz? Sir.
Ya.
Tengok one, sir. One, sir. One.
Itulah.
Ui, keyboard lampu-lampu kedai tom yum.
Oh,
Laptop
betul-betul
kedai tom
tiny lah
yum.
Wan.
Laptop kedai tom yum. Oh, dia alihkan. Payung lah sedikit. Laptop kedai tom yum.
Gila. Ni lampu tepi jalan tu dia ambil tu. Dia plong.
Kat kedai tom yum kan. Dia ambil lampu tu.
Alright, okay.
Bila?
Alright.
Okay.
Dua je, sir.
Terima kasih, Sir.